Good day and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video we're going to go through every single source of gear that you can obtain from the Emerald Dream and the best ones to farm, and essentially how you can farm them. So just a quick shout out before we begin. The main quest line is pretty good to work your way through, maybe not so much for gear pieces specifically, but more specifically in regards to a lot of materials that you're going to use. Flight stones, seeds, emerald dewdrops, just basically really good resources that you'll use to upgrade your gear. So definitely give it a shout and finish that before you do any of this. Now the Super Bloom event is a weekly event whereby you will basically do a massive kind of protection event around an ancient, very similar to Dragonbane Siege and all of those events. And Super Bloom drops veteran level gear, which is item level 441, which is pretty good level gear, and that you're limited to receiving it once per week from the cache of overblooming treasures, which is pretty good. It's a relatively easy and stress-free way to obtain pretty good gear, not to mention you get some really good like other rewards like flight stones and that from completing the event as well. So it's definitely a nice chilled way to get a good piece of gear once per week for your characters. The very next method to obtain gear, or well, one of the other kind of major ways to gain gear, is the weekly quest, A Worthy Ally. Very similar, also drops obviously veteran level gear 441, which is pretty good. This one will require you to complete certain activities around the Emerald Dream every single week, so it's nothing too difficult, but it is something to keep your eyes out for. The world boss is not yet out, however you can do this once per week and have a chance at rolling champion level gear, which is pretty high. However, of course it is limited and it is RNG, so it's not guaranteed, and currently, I believe I can be corrected, he's not out. Next we have Emerald Frenzies. Emerald Frenzies and Emerald Bounties kind of go hand in hand. Emerald Frenzies occur twice per hour, and you have a chance of obtaining Slumbering Dream Fragments. 5 Slumbering Dream Fragments that you obtain from the Emerald Frenzy can be used to create a Renewed Dream, which is a chest that can contain Emerald Dream recipes, item level 421 gear, and Dream Seeds, which are all things you'll probably need. But of course, alongside Emerald Frenzies, we can't really talk about them without mentioning, of course, Emerald Bounties. Emerald Bounties being pretty important mechanics when it comes to gaining gear. Now, Emerald Bounties are not, technically speaking, something that's strictly for gear. However, what they do is they drop really nice amounts of upgrade materials. So scales, flight stones, they're essentially great sources and great ways of obtaining a lot of upgrade materials that you'll need to push these pieces upwards. So you're going to want to do them, not to mention they count towards other basic challenges. Obviously, after the Emerald Bounties, we also have rares. Now, rares don't drop a set item level, well, set level that's upgradable, but they do drop set 4 to 8 pieces. So if you're looking to kind of flesh out your set pieces, or you're just trying to flesh out your gear in certain slots, you can obviously pick up a couple rares. And finally, we have the Splintered Spark of Emerald Dreams, which is basically the upgrade resource that crafters will need to turn certain pieces into 450, 464, which is pretty good, but also obviously, something that people are going to need to have some level of crafting expertise to effectively use. From that, basically, as long as you can craft the item, you can grab yourself a really good piece of gear. So honestly, it's super duper awesome and very straightforward. Now, the next is going to be world quests, where you can grab adventurer level gear, which will scale depending on obviously what your gear level's like, but also you can grab yourself some scales as well, which will come in handy when you come to upgrading your gear, which is all going to be pretty handy in general. So I highly suggest that you look into this as well. The other quest is going to also be a weekly quest for planting 5 bounty seeds, and this will give you a chance at a 441 piece of gear as well. So it's very good as well. And then finally, upgrading your gear is going to be a great source, obviously using all the resources you've obtained throughout the various methods detailed below. So pretty good stuff. And yeah, really just basically a ton of new methods to gear up your characters. Honestly, so many different ways. Obviously, the weeklies help with the 441 gear, but don't smirk at the 431 or the 428 to help get yourself prepped. But that's it from me. See you next time. Take care and bye.